Hey everybody, Pie back at you again with another video. So this is gonna be a pretty big video. Update version 0.18 is coming this Tuesday. When is this Tuesday? Let me get a, oh, I can't click on the thing to say Tuesday. When is Tuesday? Can I click it? I can't get the calendar because Windows 11 is trash. I think the 2nd, right? So the 2nd, July 2nd. Update version 0.18 is coming. This is the release of Terra and the balance patch that we are also waiting for because of how garbage the meta's been. At least that's what I think, and a lot of people have been sharing that opinion. So let's get straight into it because it's going to be a long one. We're going to try to focus specifically on the patch notes. I'm not going to really go and talk too much about the skins and everything. We'll do a quick look into Terra. I'll put the video and all that stuff and the link to the stuff in the description below. We're just going to try to make it, focus on the patch. So here we go. We got the Herster passive. So it's basically some sort of combo ability that we're going to see right here. So as you use your abilities, you get these kind of basic, you get these stacks, and then you get empowerment stacks. Now, she looks very quick on her feet. That is 100% for sure. Pretty high scaling, it looks like. Let's look at this ability here. So, Terra spins her axe, striking all enemies around her before slashing forward a second time. Hitting an enemy refunds 10% of the cooldown strike. Terra strikes an additional time so this is when she's empowered, she gets to strike an additional time, and her cooldown is fairly low with the refund time too. So it's kind of nutty. So she's gonna be able to do a lot of damage. She's definitely not gonna be a tank. So this is pretty, and she gets to even do true damage. Holy moly, dude, that is gonna be insane. Really high scaling. Even when you build like tanky, that's really high scaling for true damage. Her secondary, Highland Hurl, she's able to throw the axe and apply a root. It's basically a Narbash stun that goes through minions. Man, really high scaling. Pretty low CDs overall. I'm thinking of this similar to GRUX. Like GRUX is like 20-second CDs. So these are pretty low CD abilities, and this is really good for setting up characters. Now remember, this does magical damage, so it scales off physical, but it does magic damage. So how do you counter this person in a way, right? Pretty high damage by default, applies a slow, high physical scaling, and applies magic and physical above, and true damage. He has 3 forms of damage types. So roots enemies hit instead for 1.25. So you get a longer root. What's the root before? Oh, here we go. Terra throws spectral axe, magical and slowing targets. Okay, there we go. So we're getting only an empowerment applies the root. So there we go. There's my mistake, and I'm glad I was able to catch that. All right, good. That is my fault on saying that. So it applies a slow, which is still very heavy. Heavy slow, 20% slow. It's gonna set some stuff up. 1.25 seconds. It's gonna be a problem. I mean, nonetheless, having that type of setup, and then when you can have the empowerment, oh. Next one, bulwark. Or sorry, this is wild rush. Her alternate ability. So this, you guess, basically a dash. Dash hits some of the shield. Looks like there's some sort of stun. So channeling for up to 4. So channeling up to 4 seconds. So you get to choose the so-called channel. Knocking back and stunning them for, yeah, you do get a small stun, so similar to like to crunch. While channeling for the first 1.25, her dash range and damage increases, dealing up to, okay, so yeah, while channeling you get some damage boost. The channel times out was interrupted. This ability cooldown is refunded by 50%. Empowered on enemy hit, gain a 340, so then you get a shield off of it. Unstoppable force, that just makes her CC immune. She doesn't get affected by CC. So that's gonna be very interesting. Doubles a passive bonus armor, so all her armor gets doubled. That's nutty. And then on top of that, you gain a passive. Okay, here, so this is the passive here. So this gets bonus. Dang, 26 and physical and magical. Usually you have like less magical, but they're making it equally the same. So that's gonna be super effective against mages. Rest in peace to my boy Grim. This patch he got beat up. How does it look here? Yeah, no CC. Can't affect that. GRUX can't affect her. Store news. New skins, Griffin. So is there some skins Mech Terror, Iggy, and Scorch. Looks kind of interesting. Sarah, now this is actually might be the first skin I buy. Honestly, I like the color red, and Sarah, she looks kind of good. It's also a common, so I think it's like $5, so it's pretty cheap. Griffin Knight Terra bundle. I wish you could buy sprays and stuff separately. Unfortunately, you can't. Includes that stuff. Mech Terror bundle includes stuff below. Occult Kira variant. So this is gonna cost money. This became free for early access enjoyers on PC. So, oh, there is gonna be a bundle for Seraph here. Might see what the price of the bundle is and get a free spray with it. Probably, we'll see. Ruby Scarab GRUX variant. Oh, I wonder if they're gonna have a variant. I like the red color, so I don't want a variant personally. There's so many variants. I'm impressed at how many variants there are. Yep, the Ruby Scarabs. So this is for all the Ruby Scarabs. Summer sales. So we're getting some skin summer sales. So here's 1 week for this 1 week. This is for the other week. You can see the dates here. I'm just rushing through them because honestly, there are skins and you guys can look at it. I don't care about skins. Steam summer sale. So yeah, you can get the deal off of those packs, right? Yep, that's kind of nice. So you can always get those packs if you're a Steam user. Gameplay balance changes. So let's get over it. Overview. Jungle XP is increased in the mid game. Jungle objective gain additional physical armor. Critical strike damage increase from 150 to 155. All heroes gain additional physical armor growth. Should help with the carries. Outlier hero adjustment including Grim, Muriel, Gideon, and more. Pretty monstrous ones, you know, for the monsters in the game. Further on-hit item adjustments, a general reduction in damage for various item effects, frontline support item stat increases, and more. General, so critical strike damage is seeing an increase due to its low efficiency and efficacy, so they're increasing it by 5%. Not necessarily too much. When you're talking about big number differences, you could see, you know, that being pretty big. I think that's like, I think it's like a 5% increase. So I'm just doing really quick math or something like that. So, but you know, those small little damage numbers, they add up, especially when it takes 10 hits to kill something, right? And stuff like that. It could also be huge in terms of killing objective time. That can reduce it a couple seconds. Minion AI improvements are planned in the future. Yes, finally, man. After a year and a half, we're going to start seeing them. They're not coming this patch, unfortunately, but minion damage modifiers increase. So melees will do more damage. Range will actually do reduced damage. So now you're talking about only a 10% difference in ranges. Ranges are still going to do a pretty good amount of damage, but at least you can you're probably able to battle better in lane, fight with other people. So, you know, that reduction is nice, especially early game. That few little hit points that you're missing, it can help. Jungle objectives, such as Fangtooth and Prime, are slain too quickly. So Fangtooth is getting armor increase per level, +2 per level to 25 minutes, +3. This to level. Physical armor is increased from 25, +2 per level, to 25, +3 per level. A little bit weird wording there. I don't know if this is a time, like 25 minutes or not. I assume it's the armor bonus because it's the same thing here. So this is the armor and you get +2 per level. Or Prime is getting it as well, 90 plus, so this is going to have +3 per level. And then a blight debuff is increased 40% to 50%. So that debuff that he applies, it'll be increased. That's good. They died too fast. It's they need to show the HP when you put a ward down. They need to make you fight over the objective. You have to kill a jungler before you can take it, in my opinion. Buffs, red buff. So health is decreased on red buff. Now it correctly scales its XP across the game instead of being stuck at level 1. What the heck? Huh? This has been an issue for a while. Okay, so health is decreased initially, and then per level is decreased. Okay. Blue buff, health decreased as well. Gold buff. Both gold buff and cyan buff tend to be slain too quickly. I agree with that. And good, health growth is necessary. I agree with that as well. It should be more of a riskier play. Health increase from 1100 to 1100. So they're only increasing by 20 per level. That's kind of lame. It really doesn't do too much in my opinion. I kind of want them to be a little bit more tankier. Cyan buff along with the health increase. Cyan buff is also giving a decrease in XP. That's actually really good because there's some characters that are guaranteed cyan buffs compared to others, and they get to scale so much harder just because of it. So this is pretty nice. Good. I'm glad to see that change, honestly. Camps. All common camps will have increased XP approximately 7 minutes upwards. That's good. So we're going to see it here. It's just a small like overall amount. So I mean, don't want to necessarily go too much into it, but that's good. That's necessary. I'll keep junglers a little bit more, you know, available and keep up, because they're honestly competing with carries. They're not competing with mid or offlaners at all. So I like that change. Hero balance. So general time to kill. TTK has proven too fast in many. Yes, good. So all melee heroes have gained a 0.35 additional, and then all range have gained a 0.25. Now, early numbers affect total armor percent or damage reduction more. So that makes sense. As in, one armor early game has more impact than one armor late game as you apply builds, right? So this could be pretty nice, but it's also a little bit still too low. So you're telling me that at level 10 you have an extra 2 armor, an extra 2 or 3 armor. So you basically have an extra 5 to 6 armor, like, you know, give or take 7 armor at most, right? I don't know if that's really that big of a deal, you know? And we are getting changes to items and how they scale, but I don't know. I would have liked to see this more increased. I like having higher time to kill because it allows for more outplay and then less stupid poking based, you know, people just poking you off cooldown sort of a thing. So it's like, I'm a little weirded about this, but we'll see. Argus has been strong in the support role, so they're looking to nerf his primary ability, that's his stun, a little bit. It kind of sucks that the mana cost is increasing, but because now you don't have cost gun and all that, so any mana increase, you know, sucks for most mages. And then here we got Particle Shredder is getting an increase in damage into late game, which is super good actually, and I'm excited to try him out. I like Argus, but he kind of falls off in the current meta, especially when carries absolutely eliminate you. Like, you cannot do anything with him, because by the second time you use a skill and you get close to them, a carry already got you dead. Before you even hold your alternate ability and you're shooting them, you're already dead. Aurora's ability to build durable and still dish out heavy damage, yes, and have fast jungle clear. I'm glad to see this change here that we'll see. So monster damage cap is decreased, so less damage on the passive. Horror Frost, that's a secondary. That's her circle. The cooldown is increased just a tad bit, not necessarily that big of a deal. Boreal Sweep, alternate ability, damage is decreased, so this will help out with some jungle clear, even some engages in terms of lane. But this is the weird thing. So you get magical power scaling increases by 5%. Now this is like a 15% buff in theory, and you get the small reduction in explosive damage, but I think you scale harder late game. So I kind of dislike this. That means she's going to do more damage late game, and I think she's still a monster in late game. So I actually kind of dislike this alternate ability change. I think they shouldn't have even messed with the scaling. So this technically, in my opinion, is an overall buff. Her ultimate damage is decreased, which is nice, but it's really not that much. Magical power scaling is increased. Once again, this scaling counters that. It's a 10% buff. So explosive damage is decreased. Once again, not that much. So you're still getting a bigger buff. Explosive magical power scaling is increased. No, okay. So this is okay. The explosion is different scaling. Then okay, I see what it is. Still though, I don't see it being. I think it's a buff in reality. You get a nerf in terms of her jungle clear, but I think late game she gets buffed. Countess, my baby girl. Her primary gets a buff in damage a little bit, which is nice. Helps a little bit early. That's what I care about. I wish they lowered it cooldown by 1 second, maybe 2 if I was lucky. They should lower the cooldown in my opinion. Blade Siphon, healing is increased 10 to 12. And remember, this is per enemy hit. So this is a pretty nice, it could be nice against minions or being in minion waves against people. And it gets amplified by what, 4 times or something but when it hits an enemy. So this is pretty nice. I like to see a buff like this, 20%. Here we go. Crunch. Oh yeah, he did get a change. I was like, I don't remember reading him. His secondary ability hitbox range is increased. Now, a lot of people had issues with how this thing hit. So I was really confused when I saw hitbox range was increased, but the empowered hitbox range was decreased. So I'm curious what this means. Does this stack on to the empowered by any means? I don't know. I'm a little confused by that, but we'll see. We'll see how it is in game. I haven't seen too much crunch recently. Drongo. Now, Drongo was actually really, really strong, believe it or not, during the current patch. His ultimate applies a shred, and gives him an escape, so he was strong. And his RMB, or his alternate ability, would allow him to clear relatively fast. So attack speed was increased. Interesting. And then his Wastelander passive now correctly applies when rad rounds are active and a critical strike occurs. Okay, so this will help the Wastelander proc, which is that percent HP based damage. Fang Mao ability to secure a snowball due to his early game strength frequently leads to a game states where he becomes out of control. Once this occurs, not only does he possess significant damage threat, yeah, he scales really hard actually. He's pretty monstrous. Okay, let's take a look here. Safeguard, shield, good. Got a decrease early game, very very needed. Hamstring, Reaping Dash, cooldown refund is decreased by 20%. Where's that 15%? Earth Shatter Ultimate Execute Threshold is decreased until late game. Not necessarily too drastic. It's a little bit more of a gamble, I guess. The hitbox height is decreased. That's kind of nice. I like to see that. I don't even know what the height hitbox is for it. So, but I know I've had some weird issues with it. So, Gideon. So yeah, Gideon's been an absolute monster. So we're seeing a mana regen decrease on him. Cosmic Rift ability. So the big rock damage is decreased just a tad bit. Magical power scaling. Oh, that's a pretty. I mean, having those both added up, it's gonna hurt him a tad bit. I'd rather them reduce the size, to be honest with you. I think both of his abilities just scale and are way too easy to hit. So I would like some sort of more like skill impact. Black Hole Ultimate. The cooldown is increased by 10 seconds across the board, and then the pull strength is decreased. It's actually very nice. Now has a 0.5 second delay before it begins to pull the enemies. That's also pretty nice for people that go against Gideon. So I like these changes. I feel like it's gonna help me a lot. Grim EXE. Now Grim has been a problem. So his passive damage is decreased from 15 to 10. Huge amount. I don't know if this is included on his this is his second ability damage based, right? So the true damage off of the second hit, or hitting them twice. After you hit them once, you hit them again, you get damage increase. So, but that's gonna be good for early game. Displacement blast damage is decreased. I wish it was decreased, honestly, another 5, maybe another 10. I felt like just the poke that it has and how easy it is to hit, and then on top of the E, when you use your secondary, the ability to make it even further range, it was just a very strong poke weapon. Super strong clear on minions. I think he's still going to be strong. In terms of the Q being strong as poke. Assault mode, total physical power scaling decreased from 20 to 12. That's actually very nice. Magical power scaling is decreased from 15 to 10. Very nice. Mana cost is increased on his second. So mana cost is increased on his damage. 12. Oh, it's just 20 off the board. That's nice. That's good. I mean, that's reasonable. This should have been a constant mana cost, I think. That's kind of nutty that it was easy to use, and then you just you restore mana, literally 2 basics. If you restore it, is insane to me. It should be far more punishable to use assault mode, and we're getting a reduction to mana restored when assault mode is off. Damage is decreased, which is very nice. Sizable 40 early game. That's actually very good. That's fine. I don't mind that it's not much late game. Early game though, it's good because it does so much damage early game for basically being a lane global, right? GRUX. Now GRUX gets a little beat up in this patch. His passive Omnivamp is decreased from 12 to 10, and then falls off. It drops a good amount here, 5% instead of just 2% across. So yeah, it's 5% per level. So, so that's a little. There's gonna be a nice change into late game. He's not gonna be able to GRUX anymore. His primary ability, damage decreased from 115 to 100. This is his grab, right? Yeah. So his grab is kind of dog, in my opinion. I feel like it's really easy to dodge. It's only when he kind of gets in your face or you're in a fight, he pulls you. But it's still sizable. I think the damage is strong on it. His alternate ability, total physical power scaling, is decreased. That's pretty nice. That's good. Warlord challenge, the ultimate physical power steal decreased. 579. I don't know what this means. Is this a percent or just straight raw number? Is it flat? Cooldown is increased on it. So physical power steal decrease. So just straight. So that's what you steal just off of just raw. Okay, I don't necessarily know too much about his ult. I don't see GRUX getting, like, he's gonna get punished, which is nice. In terms of late game and his GRUXing, I think he's still gonna be a very strong dueler early game though. Howitzer, cooldown is increased on his primary ability. Fair. I did feel very low cooldown, so that's fair. Iggy and Scorch. I'm surprised that we're getting changes on Iggy and Scorch. I still think he kind of falls a bit short in terms of the 3 top mid laners. So I'm a little surprised, especially in pubs. Health is decreased by 10. Mana is decreased. That's really weird that they decreased his mana. Flame turret primary cooldown is decreased. That's actually pretty nice into late game. I like that. That's a buff. Turret health magical power scaling is decreased. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate. Magical power. Wait, magical armor is also decreased on it. Honestly, I did feel like mages had trouble killing them, but maybe it could be a counter towards mages. So, oil spill. Burn damage is decreased. That's actually really weird in my opinion. I don't know why. Molotov explosion magical power scaling is decreased. And Inferno ultimate damage is decreased. Why did they give him just straight raw nerfs? His wave clear was the issue. And they just completely just shut him down in terms of other P players. I think this is the undeserved nerf. They just needed to do some sort of power scaling with minions and call it a day. So we got Kallari. Kallari using some improvements to her attack speed, better allowing her to clear jungle camps as the match progresses. Attack speed is increased. I hate Kallari, so any buff to her is terrible to me. I hate Invis characters. So Kira is one of the more performing carries possessing strong dueling potential. Yes, she is. Her Vengeance passive bonus per stack 1.5 to 1.2. That's going to be pretty big. That's a pretty big change, which is good. I do think she duels really hard, but the problem is her kit is pretty basic. So it's like really tough to justify nerfs. Her primary cooldown was changed. So, oh man, they kind of hurt her early game. But this is usually a primary. So around level like 7, 8, you'll be fine. No, that's not that bad of a deal. It prevents the spam, I guess. Mercy damage is decreased. This is pretty drastic actually for early game. Total physical power scaling is decreased. Oh my lord, this is pretty drastic for her early game. It's kind of nice though. I don't know. Her kit's is very basic. On hit modifier is decreased. Oh my lord. Do people even use her ultimate? I feel like it's a waste of an ult, honestly. Like, it's just, she just gets bodied. I'd never even really use her ult except for clear, and if I'm lucky, through walls and stuff. Kwang. So Kwang's early game allows him to stand tall as one of the best early picks. However, he has a tendency to fall off hard into late game due to his lower durability, which blows my mind that they said that. To better harness these two extremes, being hit with a reduction early game and getting more late game. Oh my god, dude. Mana growth is increased. Damage is decreased 18 plus 5 per level to 14 plus 5 per level. It's just raw damage on her passive. This is true damage. Judgment of the Heavens primary cooldown is decreased. More stuns earlier. Or roots, I should say. Light of the Heavens alternate shield is decreased. Comes back into late. That's worthwhile. Shield magical power scaling. Oh my lord, dude. What the heck? Why? Shield max health scaling. Oh my god. Now correctly grants 2 passive stacks when he's immediately after throwing. Oh, so this didn't do it before? So he's already getting a buff off of a bug fix. If you're too quick. Too quick with the hands. This is monstrous, dude. Fury of the Heavens ultimate. Like, what's your cooldown on this thing, man? It's what? Fury of the Heavens ultimate. More damage late with increased power scaling. Oh my god, dude. He's already kind of a problem in high level play, not in low level play. So that's very lame. I'm not fond of that. Lieutenant Bellica. Bellica's really struggled to find a home in the mid lane. So here we got health increased by just a tad. A little bit of magical power scaling at what? Oh, just raw. So 5% per. So just a 5% buff. Cooldown decreased. That's fine. I think they just... What did they do last time? Her ult is still nerfed. So this is kind of fine-ish. So I better clear at least. For early. That's her con. She lost that clear that she used to have, in my opinion, and her poke was severely dropped. Mortgage. Now this annoying. I can't say that word. I guess it's late in the video. This annoying ass character. Mark cooldown is increased from 6 to 7. It's nice. The cooldown is necessary. Magical power scaling is decreased. I would like them to do something to her passive too, though. I think that her dot damage is too much. Like, I really do think her dot damage is too much. If I saw dot damage nerf on this too, I'd be very happy. So I'm a little disappointed not to see that. I hate how basic this character is, and just I like to play her honestly, but she's just stupid. I don't know why they make a character like this. Oh man. Muriel, yeah, Muriel's been a monster, especially in high level play. But man, when you have a bad Muriel, does it make it really bad for your team to win? Mana regen is decreased. Her passive, I don't necessarily know too much of her kit, so I can't say too much. All I know is that she has really good poke. Her shields are very quick and very high, and she has really good sustain. Like, you know, she has a pretty strong kit. Damage is decreased on her passive. Magical power scaling is decreased. I think this is every basic attack or whatnot. You get an increase in damage being done or something. Hence why Prophecy was so strong. Serenity damage decreased from 100 to 90. So 10 per level. That'll help out a bit early game. Shield is decreased. That's actually really nice. I like that. 25. That's worthwhile. Damage is decreased from 100 to 80. So that's off the explosion, right? I'll take that. Reversal of Fortune ultimate. Damage is decreased. Magical power scaling is increased. So it kind of makes up for it later. No, it kind of evens out until late game. Shield is decreased from 450. Good. I think this is nice. The shield decrease is nice. Damn, that's a big shield too. Cooldown increased, and I'm curious what the power scaling is on it too. Cooldown is increased on the shield. That's kind of nice too. Oh wow, at 30-second cut, 30-second drops. Knock up height is decreased. That's actually really good because knock up height, man, you'd be in that air for a while. Phase is receiving some minor changes aimed at reducing our early game potency. Okay, energy lance additional damage is decreased from 40, 65 to 35. Okay. I got confused with alternate. I was like, wait a second, what? Alright, so a little bit less poke damage, which is fine. Telekinetic link alternate. Cooldown is increased. Very nice. I like that early game. Rampage has struggled to find relevance. What's he getting? Cooldown changed from 17.5 to 17. So just a tad bit on cooldown. Mana cost is decreased. I don't know if this is drastic. Rumble. Damage decreased from 45. Wait. Higher scaling, but you nerfed his... What? I don't know why this was done. What? I would have kept the power scaling and just increases that. I don't know. It doesn't... I mean, maybe the base armor is going to help him out, so we'll see. I found this kind of a mediocre buff. Revenant is another carry struggling to find impact in many matches. He is... So basic attack time, basic animation time... At levels 1 to 18 decreased just a bit into late game. I don't see that being... With how much attack speed, unless the item changes are drastic, I don't see that 0.1 second being any helpful, really. Sorry, 0.04 seconds. Hellfire round, alternative, critical, strike damage modifier. So remember, we got the already buffed damage modifier. Now we're getting another one on top of him. Man, I don't know. It depends on the items if on hit is really gonna be severely impacted, because this guy still doesn't look like it's gonna be that big of a... Don't think it's gonna be that big of a buff. Now Richter's pretty annoying in general, so I hate just getting grabbed by him and dying. So I always hated Richter. I hate that idea of gameplay. I hate that one single skill puts you completely out of play. So let's see what he has. Mana growth is increased. Shock therapy damage increased. 80 to 85 to 65. Electrocute is a secondary. Magical damage scaling by 10%. Bonus health scaling. So this could, well, the shock therapy is this will kind of help you as a support, right? This is gonna help you more in off lane. Yeah, against tanks with the bonus health scaling. Their ultimate damage is increased by 10 and it scales up into 30. All right. Yeah, they don't make him any tankier, so he still has that. He still, yeah, he did lose some damage on the initial like engage. So usually when you get grabbed by a Richter, you don't necessarily die as often, which I was fine with, but apparently the devs aren't. I just think that like Muriel and Decker are so strong. Also, we have not seen a support, and I'm pretty sure Decker is not on here. So I'm really baffled that we don't see a Decker change because Decker does so much damage. Maybe it's based off an item, but she does so much damage on what I assumed was a nerf before. So she does so much damage. I'm a little confused. Sevrog, so mana cost is decreased from 35 to 30. Damage per tier is increased. So per tier of his stacks, he will do more damage now. So you do 5 more damage. That's going to be, I mean, it adds up. You know, it adds up. So now you're doing 60 instead of 45. So, hey, any damage adds up, you know, especially when you're a tank. You get to sit there and hit them as much as you want. And the cost is decreased, so more sustain. I don't think I've ever seen a Sev have mana issues, though. Ultimate damage is increased by 10 and 20 until late. Shinbi. Shinbi always... I've seen so much Shinbis in ranked, and I don't know why, because they're just better offlaners. If you want to play Shinbi, play it in casuals. Like, she just... unfortunately, she doesn't provide much on the table. Magical power scaling on her passive. Oh, so it was decreased. Sorry, I thought I saw increased. Circle rhythm. Wait, she's getting a nerf? No way. She's getting a nerf? She provide. Okay, what's her win rate, man? Ivory Shinbi on my team has literally lost me in ranked, like Turbo inted. So I'm upset to see this. Whatever. Sparrow, max health damage is decreased. Necessary. Piercing shot damage is decreased, so less poke. Her ultimate side arrow damage is decreased. Now I don't see too much changes to her. Oh, I mean this is drastic, but max health damage. I mean it's 20%. It's 15%. I don't. We'll see with the on hit. Phase receiving a small hit to her harvest nettle. This blew my mind. They're nerfing Phase. They are nerfing Phase skill shot. That already gets penalized drastically. I hate this game. She is such a bad character. She's a good character, but she's a bad character. And when you watch me play her, you'll understand why. Wraith is receiving a further improvement to his damage potential. Oh, really? Max health damage is changed. Oh, this scales now. Mark magical power scaling is decreased. Okay, just a tad bit. I mean, it's a drastic nerf, 20% nerf. Knock knock. Alternate damage is increased from base. Bonus physical power scaling is increased. Wow. Okay. Sizable. Good wraiths are still gonna cook now. Still kind of falls off just due to like AoE and you know what other mid laners have. But if you're, you know, if you get a jungle to camp you and your team does well, Wraith is gonna do really good. Wraith's carry potential though is very, very, very low in my opinion. Easily caught out. Squishy. Okay, Zarus. Zarus stands as tall as incredible threat. Yes, Zarus has been an absolute monster. So, yeah. Lack of sufficient counterplay against him. Very true. His basic attack, bonus physical power scaling was decreased. Worthwhile. Max health scaling per stack is decreased. This was, I don't necessarily know. The numbers seem a tad bit on the low side. I just want him to, like, when he's healing and you can't hit him, it gets rid of the passives. That's one thing I would have liked. The barricade primary damage mitigation decreased. That's good. His evade mana cost is increased. Spirit of Near. bonus physical power scaling is decreased. And then Coliseum, the dirt. Yay! I think it should even be lower than that, but I don't know. With time to kill and stuff in this game, I think it should be like 4 seconds. I feel like it's a bit high still, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think it's still too high. Item balance changes. All right, so we got Judgment. I don't necessarily know too much. Judgment is the AoE thingy. So physical to magical damage. So this would technically do more damage, possibly. Physical change from 120 physical to 70 plus 40% total physical. So okay, this will be pretty strong. But I was gonna do magic damage. You have less scaling and probably less armor into it. So that's really interesting. Dust Devil, so the cost decreased a little bit and attack speed decreased a little bit. I saw this being built with the on hit because it would apply you to here paired with on hit because it would help you chase people. So I'm just kind of confused on this change when on hit is just so strong. I'm gonna be confused on a lot of these changes, I think, because of on hit being so strong. Equinox, so attack speed is decreased, and then something changed in the recipe. Lightning Hawk, physical power is increased, and the attack speed is decreased. Good, I want to see attack speed decrease. Amplifies true damage ability. So nuclear round wasn't working properly. Interesting. Onyxian Quiver, multi-shot damage changed from 15. This is actually a little bit early game, falls off late game. I found this item to never be built anyway. Plasma Blade, physical power increased, magical power increased, and attack speed decreased. Okay. Physical Sky Splitter, rend the current HP. So this is going to be pretty sizable. You're talking about like late game, you're talking about like 60 HP missing per shot. So we'll notice this a little bit. Stormbreaker, attack speed is decreased. Worthwhile. I think there could have been a little bit more maybe with it, as it's like a forever scaling item. So we'll see. Tainted rounds. So physical power is physical power is increased and attack speed is decreased. This is gonna be really strong because it converts physical damage to magic damage. So this is still gonna be a very, very strong item because not many people are gonna build magic damage. They're not gonna think about it. Vanquisher, pen is increased by a bit. Physical pen is decreased on envy. So this is the type of stuff where I'm like, okay, so you're adding some to counter the armor increases. So this will get countered. This will get it buff. This is pretty nice decrease from it. Lowers the TTK basically. Sorry, increases the time to kill someone. And it was definitely, you got some stupid instances with Infernum. Mesmer, pen is increased. So if you really want to get pen damage, if you really want to try to burst people down and do some damage, you're probably gonna have to buy some of the pen. They'll stack more. When you're buying 5 pen items, you're gonna be getting an extra 5 pen, right? Basically, from what I'm seeing from here. Omen struggles to find its place in many builds. The physical power is increased and physical pen is increased with a little bit increase in cost. Physical power is increased and the tenacity is removed on Bone Sauce. This is mainly an item that only what's his face would have, GRUX. So this is gonna be pretty huge for his tenacity, being a very, stay in the area fight type of person. Gets a little bit more damage, but he's gonna get more CC'd. Mutilator, Devour max health is decreased from 3% to 2.5%. Okay, that's going to be pretty good. This is going to help out situations when Terra comes in, because Terra is going to build this item instantly. Combustion, magic pen is decreased, unfortunate. Pyro damage is decreased, that's unfortunate as well. So now it's going to be more biased into getting Mega Cosm. You're going to lose 10 damage off of it. Mega Cosm, you apply, hit 2 of your skills and time them well, you'll get that pyro damage. You'll basically be able to reach that. I think it's 3 ticks. You probably apply between 3 to 12 damage early game. So yeah, you basically off of getting 2 spells is going to apply nearly the same as combustion. On top of that, you're going to get ability haste. You do get the pen here though, so it'll still probably be really strong. But we do got a Noxia nerf, so let's see what happens there. Dreambinder, the health is increased just a tad bit. I want to see this built more, and I want to do some tests and build more Dreambinder and see how it works. Nox is another item. Yep. So magic power is decreased, unfortunate, and then the dark matter cooldown is increased. So that kind of sucks. I wish that you'll still have it in like laning phase type stuff, right? But you're gonna lose out on it when it comes to team fights. That 2 seconds can be a very big deal. So that's unfortunate. But it's still, combustion and Noxia. If you get to stack both of those abilities on someone, especially a squishy, you will annihilate them. Prophecies currently offers too much raw. So magical strikes, magical power scaling is decreased from 22 to 20%. So it's gonna hurt a little bit for people like Muriel when you play off lane and all that stuff. Soulbinder, Arcane Salvo cooldown is decreased from 12 to 10. So this is, I think this includes the stacking ability and it includes the 8% damage increase, right? So it's a buff for it, but it's not a very interesting item. You get mana and you get 75 magic power. It's just like if you stack this all the way properly, you'll be lucky if you're doing 25, more magic power. But that's it. You're not getting a very solid. It's good for Howie maybe now, especially the combustion probably, but it's just a little bit iffy. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Soulbinder. Maybe gadget time on her Qs. I'm not sure. World Breaker, Maya bonus health to magic power is increased from 4.5 to 5. This is going to be strong on Sevrog. Dawnstar, health is increased from 250 to 300. Okay. Dynamo, health is increased on Dynamo, so a little bit tankier on both those. Everbloom, Divine Protection now only applies to ally heroes. So this is the thing that applies the, this is that mitigation. So this will be pretty nice, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. I feel like it would apply to you as well, but if they find it imbalanced, hell, whatever. Frosted Lure, health is increased. I think this still has a bug, too, but don't quote me on it. Hexbound Bracers, physical armor is increased. This is a terrible item, so don't ever build this item. You only get mana or something when you take damage. I don't see a benefit in that at all. Mana, I don't think is really an issue, and there's better items. Share of attack speed is decreased on Marshall. That's kind of fortunate for the on-hitters, but it's worthwhile in my opinion. I want attack speed to be low. I want attack speed or damage to be lowered. I want things to be more meaningful instead of just spam, 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 spam. Frostguard, physical armor is increased and base health regen is increased. Oh man, Frostguard is strong too. Now this is going to be... People are going to like this item. Apply even more slows to the carries. It's going to be really strong in my opinion. Wow, I thought Frostguard was already kind of good. It was just that carries did so much damage and they had too much attack speed. Now we're getting a reduction in attack speed, a tad bit increase in armor, and we're going to see this. I'm kind of interested. Tainted Guard, we're reverting the change to Tainted Guard damage. Blighted Thorn increased. Good. Warden's Faith, Stalwart, critical damage reduction is increased. That's actually needed. This item isn't really built that much. Granted, we haven't had any crit builds, so this is really hard to even justify now. Like, why did we buff it? Because I think they buffed it last time, too. But, hey, I mean, honestly, 15% sounds better than 12%. I like this. So they're gonna hurt the carries, which is good. Here's the bug fixes. I'm not gonna read out the bug fixes. When I read them, they weren't anything that, like, overall crazy, but I might be missing something that I saw. If you guys are interested, I just don't want to really read them. There's a lot of them, and they didn't look like anything too crazy. I'm trying to see if there's a one that really caught my eye. Oh, here is a fix an issue where Howitzer ult would be cancelled if hit by a root. This and Gideon, you would just be in the air and then fall to the ground kind of thing. It was really weird. So I like these changes as a mid laner. So that's what the patch looks like. Let me know what you guys think, of the patch. I wanted to see a Decker change. Carries, I don't know if they'll get hit hard enough. Didn't see any change to Twin Blast, which is really interesting. So those are the characters I'm a little bit questionable about. Terra is going to be an absolute menace, and I'm terrified of her, honestly. I was wrong about the root thing, so that root isn't all the time empowered, but we'll see how often it happens. Her kit looks absolutely ridiculous, though. And I think her kit also doesn't bring anything new. It brings anti-CC, but it doesn't bring anything new. It doesn't, everything is kind of already implemented in the game. Like, she doesn't bring anything that's completely different or separate from all other characters. You know, so I'm a little disappointed in that, but it is what it is. I do think I could enjoy playing her though, so I'm just kind of being a little bit like, you know, anal in terms that, you know, it doesn't bring anything in terms of uh something different in the game, but I think it'll bring something where I could enjoy her still, you know. But yeah, overall patch looks fine-ish. I'm just hoping that we get to see carries nerfed hard because carries were absolutely ridiculous. I hope this is enough. You know, we got to see how it is in game. We thought it was going to be enough when it first happened, and hey, it didn't do anything. So I'm hoping that this is it, right? I want a fair game. I want ranked 24/7. That's not happening yet, but I want the devs to cook. So I really truly hope that they can cook. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yeah, good luck in your games. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.